I love cinema. Whether at home or sitting in a theater with friends, the experience has always been one I found unique. Transferred to a world away from reality where we are made to feel excited, anxious, and happy as we visually follow the actions of our favorite stars over a short period of time. The influence of cinema on human culture cannot be understated, as we have seen several creative ideas from the world of cinema move from mere fiction to reality. Now before we continue, I'd like you all to know I make new videos every week on Thursdays and Sundays, so please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more content. 51 years ago, when Star Trek burst onto the TV scene, minds were blown with the silly notion of handheld computers. At the time, it seemed rather far-fetched. The personal computer hadn't even been invented, let alone laptops or even tablets. But here we are, with smartphones, tablets, and even smartwatches. The sci-fi movies of old were several iterations ahead of reality, and now the rest of the world has finally caught up, albeit lagging a few decades. In the last 10 years, there's been an expansion of viewing alternatives providing customers with personalized choices. These include Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, YouTube, and now even Facebook. Home screens have become the equivalent of mini theaters with high-definition screens and surround sound. Younger people now more than ever are happy to watch content on laptops or even cell phones. This, combined with the ever-rising ticket prices for medium to big budget movies, means the traditional theater is on its way out. There are simply too many cheaper and more convenient options for cinephiles, and unless the big studios adapt to this surging change, they will eventually be left behind. Cinema today is tailoring itself to the individual audience by having something for everybody. A good example of this is what Netflix has done with their subgenres. A Netflix subscriber can find something as specific as a crime thriller based on a book from the 1980s with little to no fuss. It's because of this specificity from online alternatives that makes them so convenient to the viewer. The future of cinema begins with the filmmaking, and the future of filmmaking is independent. I say independent because the process of filmmaking has seen remarkable change in just a few decades, which has made it more accessible to individuals who have creative ideas but don't have the financial backing to hire the tons of specialists required to make a traditional movie. Nowadays, anyone can shoot a decent indie movie in his backyard with a $2,000 DSLR camera, after which the footage can be edited on a personal computer and uploaded to any one of the multitudes of video-on-demand stores. In the future, filmmakers will have access to radical new cinema technologies like cinematography, which allows the filmmaker to incorporate scents and smells into the viewing experience of a film. Currently, these can be seen in 4D cinemas, but as we gradually shift to virtual reality-based movies, these systems will be miniaturized to allow for single-user experiences. At its extremes, virtual reality headsets could be paired with neural devices that can trigger certain emotional reactions at different points of a film. Given the rise of incredible CGI in films, actors and actresses could someday license highly detailed avatars of themselves, including their voice, to filmmakers. A good example of this today is the Animoji feature in iPhones and AR emoji in Samsung Galaxy S9. These digital forms could then be used in movies to represent whichever character the filmmaker sees fit, even allowing the producer to swap out characters in the post-production phase or make the person say something else from what was initially recorded without much fuss. Such a technology would revolutionize filmmaking on every level, as it would reduce the cost attributed to reshoots and recasting in post-production phases. Actors and actresses will also come out on top, as their avatars could be licensed to hundreds of film studios at a time, carrying out different film projects without them actually being present. On the consumer end of the spectrum, disruptive technologies like virtual and augmented reality are set to dominate the cinematic experience for the foreseeable future. Viewers watching a movie through a VR headset will not only be able to follow the story, but will also become a part of it, able to choose where they look and how they interact with the environment. Filmmakers will be able to utilize non-linear timelines in their storytelling, allowing viewers to go back to a particular moment in the movie and uncover a hidden detail that they might have missed, or even follow a different path towards the ending. Regardless of VR's domination of cinema, augmented reality will still allow for crazy new experiences for filmmakers and audiences as well. Movies that interact with your environment could become a thing, although I wouldn't advise anyone to see The Ring or IT movie in AR. That would be quite unsettling. At the bleeding edge of filmmaking technology, viewers may not even need any device or machine to allow them watch a movie. The entire film could be downloaded into the mind of a viewer as a memory. A person could be made to feel the experience of going to Mount Everest without ever being there, or maybe even feel the weightlessness of space simply from an implanted memory. Obviously, such a technology would need to be utilized and regulated carefully so as not to traumatize the viewer with bad artificial memories. Furthermore, as movies have become redundant and self-serving, we all hold some amount of fear because we know in the back of our minds that the death of cinema in its traditional form could be upon us. But maybe we shouldn't be afraid. Maybe the death of traditional cinema will ultimately lead to new and profound ways of experiencing creative works of art like we've never seen before.